shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news out of Franklinton, where a person is seriously hurt this morning after fire tears through a home. What fire crews are revealing about what happened.
And tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day. We are still looking at the potential for flooding and windy conditions. It's going to be chilly too. We'll outline everything you'll see Saturday through the weekend.
And millions of people across North Carolina aren't letting the weather put a damper on their holiday road trips. This morning, we are breaking down the best and worst times for you to travel for Memorial Day. Quite possibly if you are up at this hour, maybe you're getting ready to head out for the weekend. It's 4:30 right now. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Yeah, those of you joining us, getting an early start to your Memorial Day weekend. It is dry out there right now, but our weather will certainly ramp up here. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center to walk us through our wet holiday weekend.
The first thing that happens is we'll notice the wind beginning to pick up for today. Tomorrow, it'll be gusty at 25, 30, maybe 35 miles per hour. Of course, we know about the flood risk. We've been talking about that for a couple of days now, so we could see as much as 2 inches of rain between now and late tomorrow. Could cause some isolated flooding, and it's going to be chilly. Our temperatures are going to be in the low to mid 60s on Saturday, and we really don't see a ton of improvement all the way through the weekend. So here's a look at our flooding risk. It remains in the same spot, mainly the bulk of our counties, minus the ones that are bordering Virginia. 1.5 to 2 inches of rainfall for tomorrow, and that could start as late this afternoon in our southern counties. So we're going to walk through that with Futurecast coming up. It is cloudy this morning. Temperature 57. We still have a northeasterly flow, so it's a cool start out there for us this morning. Our temperatures remain a touch below yesterday because of the cloud cover. Around the Triangle area and northward, I wouldn't expect to see much rain for today, but certainly we'll begin to see that picking up tonight, and it looks like a very wet weekend, of course.
Elizabeth, thanks. We're following breaking news. A person is seriously hurt after a house fire in Franklin County. This happened on Harris Way near Franklinton. WRAL's Keenan Willard is at the home now, where fire crews have been working all night. Keenan, what can you tell us?
Well, you can still smell the smoke lingering in the air here on this drive in Franklinton, and you can see the damage and what this fire did to this home. You can see the marks of ash up the side of the walls towards the roof there, a completely destroyed front porch there, debris around this area. And this all happened, firefighters tell us, just before 10 o'clock last night. They were called out here, multiple departments responding to a fire at this home. We had some video of the aftermath there. They say when they actually got here, they found the front of the home was where most of the damage and the ongoing fire was. They had to kick the door down to enter through that area, and they found one person inside suffering from severe injuries. They gave them CPR and took them to the hospital in serious condition. As of this morning, we have heard from investigators that they don't suspect that this may have been intentionally set at this point, but their investigation is still ongoing, even though they're not still on scene. We're also working to bring you an update on the condition of that victim. Hopefully going to get more information from investigators in the hours ahead. Keenan Willard, WRAL News.
If you plan on hitting the roads this holiday weekend, you will want to head out the door sooner rather than later. Today's predicted to be the busiest day on the roads this Memorial Day weekend. WRAL's Nia Harden joins us live to break down what's driving this big rush right now and to explain the best and worst travel times out there. I would think earlier the better, right, Nia?
Well, it's a little bit like that, but I mean, here we go, talking about another record high when it comes to people traveling. This time we're talking about people on the roads. Most of them are going to be doing that, and they're going to be getting gas this morning. And this morning, AAA reporting the average price of gas in the state is $3.30 per gallon. Now, if you are driving, AAA suggests leaving in the morning before noon, kind of like what Jeff said, but you can also leave anytime after 6 o'clock this evening. The worst time to be on the road, though, is going to be this afternoon from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. While there will be a record high of people traveling, Gas Buddies says you shouldn't see a surge in gas prices. Drivers are cutting back and will spend $1.6 billion less on gasoline compared to this time last year.
Gas prices tend to peak not in the summer driving season, but before the summer driving season. So if it's a normal year, gas prices shouldn't get back up to the levels that we saw in April. That's the good news. But of course, as we progress now, we're on the cusp of hurricane season starting. Hurricane season can have an impact on gas prices.
And you can always go to the WRAL News app. Just search the words fuel tracker. There you can find out where the cheapest gas is where you live. Nia Harden, WRAL News in Garner.
Unfortunately, increased travel on the roads means more vehicle problems. AAA predicts it will rescue more than 483,000 stranded drivers this weekend. That's across the country. The three most common reasons are flat tires, dead batteries, and folks getting locked out of their cars. If you find yourself on the side of the road, safely pull over at the next exit or a safe stopping point. If you have to immediately stop, try to get as far off the road as possible. Turn your hazard lights on, remain in the vehicle. If you do have to get out for any reason, always watch for oncoming traffic.
And we take a live look outside at RDU International Airport this morning. It's going to be another busy day at the airport as well as people are hitting the skies for the holiday weekend. Travel is expected to be between 20% higher than last year, with more than 225,000 people expected between today and Tuesday to travel. The TSA has a goal of getting passengers through security in 30 minutes and pre-check in 10 minutes.
Happening today, more protesters plan to gather to push back against North Carolina's new abortion law. The group is set to rally in Nash Square. It includes speakers followed by a march. The Fight the NC Abortion Ban protest begins at 7:30 p.m. GOP lawmakers recently overrode Governor Cooper's veto on the ban that limits abortions at 12 weeks. North Carolina's previous ban was 20 weeks.
Also, Renee, a 6-week abortion ban is now in South Carolina law. That is before many women and girls even realize that they're pregnant. Governor Henry McMaster signed the new controversial bill into law less than 24 hours ago. It includes exceptions to save the patient's life and for fatal fetal anomalies. There are also limited exceptions up to 12 weeks for victims of rape and incest. Planned Parenthood and some physicians already filed a lawsuit against the law. Before North Carolina's new restrictive abortion law passed this month, the state was considered a haven for abortion care in the Southeast.
Today, the White House is expected to hold another round of negotiations with top Republican lawmakers as the U.S. inches closer to hitting the debt ceiling. This is a live look from outside the U.S. Capitol this morning. House lawmakers are currently on recess. They left Thursday without a new deal on the table ahead of the holiday weekend. But late last night, a GOP aide said there is a chance a deal could come soon. Still, nothing set in stone. Negotiators warn these crunch time conversations will be the most difficult as the deadline looms. The U.S. could default on paying its bills as early as next Thursday.
We're working to learn the identity of a woman who was killed in a crash with a dump truck on Lewisburg Road. Sky 5 flew over the scene of that crash yesterday afternoon. Police say the driver failed to yield when making a turn and turned right in front of the dump truck. Highway Patrol confirmed to WRAL that a woman in her 20s died in that crash. There's a renewed search this morning for 2 missing Raleigh teenagers. Police posted these pictures of Zakaria Hodge and Hannah Harbor Brown on Thursday as part of National Missing Children's Day. Authorities say Hodge was last seen early this month in the Raleigh area. She's 16 years old. Harbor Brown disappeared August of 2021. She's also 16 years old now. Anyone with information on these 2 girls or any other missing children, you're asked to call the number on your screen.
Local Nepali small business owners will gather today to shine a light on their role in the nation's economy. They'll take part in a roundtable discussion today in Cary. The regional administrator for the U.S. Small Business Administration, Alan Thomas, will join them. Science6 President Raj Bhandari will help lead the event. Bhandari was recently named the SBA's National Exporter of the Year. This event is part of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Betting big on your favorite teams.
Sports betting is on the rise among young adults. Coming up, why some experts warn the trend could lead to problems both financially and mentally.
COVID is spreading once again in China. Still ahead, details on the latest surge as officials track rampant cases headed to the summer.
And you're looking live at Sanford, where we have a dry start right now. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is tracking our weekend rain. We have your forecast in just a few minutes.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:42. It's a nice quiet start for us this morning. This is a live look at Sanford. Our skies are cloudy. And the last several days, we've had some nice sunshine breaking out in the afternoon, even though we've started cloudy. That's not going to be the case today. Our low pressure system is on the move, heading our way to make for a very wet, chilly, windy weekend. And we're not likely to see any sunshine this afternoon. 52 in Lewisburg right now, 61 in Fayetteville, 50 in South Hill, 58 in Goldsboro. So it is it's a nice mild start for us this morning. If you're headed out the door for a morning run or bike ride, everything's looking good. Get it in today. It does look like we'll stay dry well through the afternoon and into the evening. Temperatures will be around 70 degrees. So anything you need to get done outside, I would get to it today.
A three-day festival is happening in Minneapolis, commemorating the life of George Floyd and continuing the call for change. Community members gathered last night for a candlelight vigil in honor of Floyd on the 3rd anniversary of his death. It was part of the George Floyd Global Memorial's Rise and Remember Festival. Dozens of people gathered in unity, and speakers touched on the impact of Floyd's death at the hands of Minneapolis police officers.
The leader of the far-right Oath Keepers militia will spend up to 18 years in prison for his role in the January 6 riots. A federal judge handed down the sentence to Stuart Rhodes. He was convicted in November on seditious conspiracy charges. When issuing his sentence, the judge said the Oath Keepers would not have been at the Capitol on January 6th if it weren't for Rhodes' leadership. The judge said that equates to domestic terrorism.
A new survey shows sports betting is on the rise among young adults. More than half of those people surveyed said they had placed at least one bet. 6% said they've lost more than $500 in one day. One specialist says you have to pay attention to the early signs of addiction.
I would say about half of them may have serious problems with gambling, or at least repetitive gambling that may end up causing significant challenges later on in their life.
Here in North Carolina, the state's version of sports betting is moving forward with some changes. If it becomes law, it would allow betting through apps for people in North Carolina starting next year.
This morning, the U.S. is monitoring a new wave of COVID infections in China. Health officials there say it could bring as many as 65 million cases a week by the time the surge peaks in June. This new virus data comes nearly 6 months after China lifted its strict COVID restrictions. As of right now, U.S. officials have not issued any travel restrictions.
And as the summer travel season heats up, American Airlines says a computer program is helping it avoid widespread flight delays during weather events. The program is called HEAT. American says it calculates how incoming weather will affect flight schedules, gates, passengers, connections, and crew schedules. It then helps the airline reorganize flight departures so they don't all bottleneck and create even bigger delays.
Anything we can do to reduce delays, reduce cancellations, means that the entire line of flying can happen more effectively throughout the day.
American Airlines says the program's helped it avoid nearly 700 weather-related cancellations last summer.
The 82nd Airborne Division celebrated its last pass in review at Fort Bragg. 19,000 paratroopers lined Pike Field on post Thursday. The division review is one of the final events during All-American Week. This year's theme was Honor the Past, Jump into the Future. Commanders told the soldiers while the name of the post is changing, the legacy of the 82nd Airborne Division remains the same. Fort Bragg officially becomes Fort Liberty June 2nd.
A top cancer researcher from the UNC School of Medicine has been named the recipient of the prestigious 2023 Oliver Max Gardner Award. Dr. Shelley Earp is leader of UNC Lineberger Comprehensive Cancer Center and UNC Cancer Care. The award recognizes faculty who have made the greatest contribution to the welfare of the human race. It is the highest honor conferred on faculty by the Board of Governors. The Gardner Award has been around since 1949.
And don't forget, one of the most, exciting Sundays in racing is this weekend, Jeff.
Hey, you can catch the Indy 500 right here on WRAL beginning at 12:30, and then catch the Coca-Cola 600 from Charlotte. What a double dip. That is on Fox 50 at 6 o'clock. 4:47 the time. I couldn't help but notice that award that goes out has your last name, Elizabeth.
It does. Distant relatives. Oliver Max Gardner was the governor back in the late 20s, early 30s, and he was my grandfather's cousin. So it's distant, but it's back there. Weather alert day on Saturday. Windy conditions. We're going to see winds gusting 30 to 35 miles per hour. Of course, we have that flooding risk for Saturday in particular, and it's going to be a chilly day today. Saturday still looking like pretty much the worst day of the weekend. We take a look at, of course, our flooding risk. We're looking at the potential for some flooding with several inches of rain. We take a look at satellite and radar. We can see here now, here's our low pressure system. It's made some progress since yesterday, moving offshore of Florida, and will continue to move northward. Yesterday, it looked like we might get some showers in the afternoon. That's still a possibility. Some of the models are slowing down the arrival of that rain on Friday. We'll take a look at Futurecast here, and we're starting out first thing in the morning. It is cloudy out there right now, and we're going to see some gray skies for the bulk of the day today. Once we get to late tonight and to tomorrow, we start to see the rain spreading northward. Certainly by 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, we're looking at rain. That rain's going to be heavy at times. You can see these pockets where it's yellow. Not likely to see thunderstorms. It's going to be chilly. It's going to feel almost like a winter rainy day for us with windy conditions. Even though this system is a coastal low, it's not going to bring a lot of warmth with it. Our winds are coming out of the northeast with this one, so it's not bringing in a lot of warmth, but it's bringing in a lot of rain for us on Saturday. There's 5 o'clock Saturday. You can see pretty much an all-day rain. That continues overnight. But we get into Sunday, and this is our first look at Sunday. We can take it all the way out to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And there's lunchtime. There's 2 o'clock. This is the high-resolution model. So, we look at the long-range models. They're not quite as high resolution, but they go out a lot farther. So first look at the high-res models, actually looking a little bit better for Sunday, which is nice news. Wind speed forecast for Saturday, gusting 30 to 35. We'll really see those winds picking up as we get to, really from the morning into the middle of the afternoon. And just, again, a quick check. Today, a 20% chance of rain. If we see any, it would be in our southern counties. 61 for tomorrow, and then 71 Sunday and 76 degrees on Monday with a decreasing chance for rain. Walking out the door this morning, cloudy skies. Our temperatures are in the mid to upper 50s right now. We'll see 71 this afternoon in Raleigh and Durham and 73 in Fayetteville. So we continue to see our temperatures dropping with, of course, all the cloud cover. Tuesday, we could still see some lingering showers and thunderstorms as the system just falls apart over us, and we get into some warmer, drier conditions next week.
Elizabeth, thanks. Latinx culture is on full display in Raleigh.
A new art exhibit provides a platform for Hispanic artists to share their unique outlook. We'll give you a preview of the latest display at Raleigh's Diamante Arts and Cultural Center.
And Disney's latest live-action movie hits theaters today. A look at the new film expected to draw big crowds, Under the Sea. More children in Wake County could have access to free preschool. The Wake 3 School Early Learning Program plans to expand, and it's free to qualified families.
WRAL's Shelley Jackson spoke with one parent who says this program is crucial for her family.
Happy Face Preschool is one of several preschools participating in the Wake 3 School program. It's making childcare more affordable for families who could otherwise not afford it.
And a new dress from Grandma.
3-year-old Lorelai is thriving in preschool.
Hi, Miss Michelle.
Her mom, Nicole Lockamy, says Lorelai has come out of her shell since she started the program.
She is just such a different kid. We also had the opportunity for a speech pathologist here. So she has speech therapy as well.
Lockamy and her husband have 3 older kids. She says they couldn't afford preschool for Lorelai if she wasn't in the 3 School program, which is free to qualified families.
One of us would stay home and hope that we could get remote work or something along those lines, but otherwise we would have probably just struggled financially with one working parent for another year until she would go into kindergarten. Come here.
According to the North Carolina Early Education Coalition, pre-K education better prepares kids for success in kindergarten and beyond. Serena Robinson, program director at Happy Face Preschool, says it also helps educators detect potential issues early.
We were identifying developmental delays that actually wouldn't usually get identified until they become 4 and 5 years old.
And coming up at 7, the program plans to expand. Find out how you can qualify. Shelley Jackson, WRAL News, Raleigh.
You can immerse yourself in Latinx culture right here in Raleigh today. The Diamante Arts and Cultural Center is unveiling its De Colores exhibition. It runs through June 30th and will spotlight Latinx and Hispanic artists. The exhibit provides a platform for talented artists to share their unique perspectives. An opening reception will be held from 6 to 8 p.m. when you can meet the artists. Love the bold colors.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Disney's live-action version of The Little Mermaid opens in theaters today. The movie stars Halle Bailey as Ariel and Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. Film experts say they expect it to make a big splash in the box office this holiday weekend. It is projected to bring in between $100 and $125 million.
She's a Barbie girl heading to the real world. A newly released trailer for the upcoming Barbie movie gives us a closer look at what to expect. Barbie is living a perfect life in the idyllic Barbie land. Then she notices some things aren't as perfect as they used to be. She's then given a choice of the real world or the dream life. It becomes even more apparent that the silly film doesn't take itself at all seriously. The movie hits theaters July 21st. A lot of pink in that movie.
No doubt. Goodness, even Ken, right?
Yeah.
Memorial Day travel is in full effect, and coming up at 5, everything you'll want to know to avoid the congestion on this busy holiday weekend.
And the deadline for lawmakers to reach a deal on the nation's debt ceiling just days away. The latest on negotiations from Capitol Hill.
Plus, a house goes up in flames in Franklinton. What we're learning about the destructive fire and the person inside, rescued by firefighters.